Hey everybody, it's ASIC Eric, and we are back on the Camaro, picking up where we left off last time of starting the body work on this passenger quarter panel. I wanted to take a moment at the beginning to address a comment that Brandon left on the last video about these window channels and tape lines and all this stuff. Brandon was making the point, don't make hard edge tape lines when you're painting, because you're just gonna have to sand all that stuff out later. And I did attempt to do that, as you can see here. So I put a soft edge all around here so I don't have a hard edge. See if you can see that. Yep, that seems like that worked. And on the window channels here, I was shooting the window channels mostly from this direction, not from the side. These window channels already have 2 coats of epoxy on them, so they don't need any more epoxy. So all I was really trying to do was prevent overspray from getting down in here. So this edge here, you can see there's no tape here. I scuffed all of this to make sure the overspray had something to stick to. And then I just put tape on here so that I didn't have to worry about just building up epoxy on this edge here for no reason, right? So pull this back here so you can see there. So there would have been a pretty hard edge right there if I was painting into it hard from this angle, but I wasn't really trying to do that. I was really trying to hit it more from the top. So I did intentionally do all this masking that way. So I did try and avoid any hard edges anywhere. And I was trying not to build up too much material on this edge here, because as you can see, it's already got overspray from the last time I did that. So it's already got two coats of epoxy plus overspray. And so anyway, when the time comes, I'm going to be sanding all of that overspray off anyway. So I just don't want to keep building more and more. The one place I did put a hard edge was right here, but it's on the bottom of this thing here. So that didn't really leave much in the way of a hard edge. But anyway, that's that. So today, what we're doing is, this area here was still pretty beat up from last time. I took the body hammer to this some more, try and smooth it out some more because it was still too high. And we ran the block with 180 over it real quick just to see what it looked like. You can see there's still a low spot there. And this was really high right here, so I mashed that down a little bit to where the sandpaper is starting to hit in the middle now too. So hopefully this is okay. I used this guy to try and get some estimate of what this surface looks like, and I think this is approximately correct now. And we also missed a dent right here, so my dad's going to grind that off and pull that out because it's sticking out a little bit right here. So we'll pull that up. Hopefully that'll pull that metal back in, and then if we need to put a little filler there, we'll put some there. But when all that's said and done, then we're going to try and skim coat the whole thing with filler. I don't know if I have enough filler. I went to the paint store and they didn't have any yesterday, so I won't have it till today. But I'm going to take some of the metal glaze and mix it in there with the Rage Ultra, because it does say that you can mix anything that has this metal works thing, you can mix them together. So I'm going to try that. That'll make it a little smoother too. Finally, I got myself a little thermometer thingy here to see what's going on. When I came out this morning, it was 37 degrees outside, 53 in the garage, and I opened up the drum room today, plus turned on the halogen lights, and so we went from 53 up to 61. So it's pretty nice in here right now, actually. It's still pretty cold outside, but anyway, off to work. All right, we have that taken care of and that taken care of. This seems pretty good. Fingers crossed that will level out nicely. So we're going to go ahead and do the wipe of filler across this whole thing now. I just cleaned all of this off with wax and grease remover. Didn't put any on the filler itself, just to wipe that off with a towel. I'm going to blow the thing off before we do the wipe. Alright, so it's a couple of days later. Had to take a break, do some other things. It is cold. It was 37 out here earlier this morning. 51 in the garage, so I just came out here, turned on the drum room again, get some heat going, warm this place up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the car back out. You notice we took the hood off. Like I said, my dad's gone for almost a month. So I wanted the hood off so that I could work on the gaps and stuff like that, move the fenders around if I had to. I went along and took measurements across the car here to try and see where everything was. The fenders are a little too far out, so I marked the distance from fender to fender with the hood and without the hood, and then I also measure the gaps everywhere along here. So it's kind of interesting. The fenders need to come in. I got a 1/4 inch gap here, 5/16 here, and a 1/4. So this fender bows out like this, or the hood bows in, whatever. And the other side of the car is the opposite. So I have 5/16, I think, on those two sides, and then a 1/4 in the middle. So it's got this weird shape to it, but you can't really do anything with the middle parts of the fender. There's no anchor points to nudge those in or out. So maybe the one that's a little too tight, you can maybe hit it and pull it that way, but the one that's too far this way, I don't really know what to do about it. Can't push the fender that way. Anyway, let me get the car back out here. All right, so this is where we ended off last time. So we had the wipe of filler over the whole thing, sanded that down, and then came back, and this big dent that ran through here still needed some more, and I had to do some more work in some other places, so I came and put some glaze over the other areas that needed it. It's pretty close now. I'm still not sure about this spot right here. This was a real pain. We spent so much time on this spot right here. I've hammered and dollied it because you can get a dolly in from the back here, and it's just really bad. So this is like a seesaw right here. You know, when I get this side to come down, this side comes up, and vice versa. And I kept fighting that, and eventually what I did is I took the stud welder gun and just used the tip on there as a shrinker and just shrunk this metal down. And when I hit this spot right here, this whole area just caved in, which was nice. So I mean, it created a low spot, but at least I could fill that. This spot might still be too high. I beat the snot out of this with the hammer and everything, and it just doesn't want to go down, but it's close enough right there that I might just be able to just put a little bit more filler over this whole thing and be done with it. It's a little high in through here still. But most of this is in pretty good shape now, I think. So I'm going to go through, sand on this some more, put some more guide coat on it, see if it's level, touch up any spots that need to be touched up. And then there's a corner down here. When I worked on the car before, it's hard to tell, but yeah, it's right here. I flattened this off a little bit too much. So I'm gonna scuff this up here and then put a little wipe of glaze on that to try and smooth that out. And then I have to go through and touch up epoxy around here in the places that need it. And then it's gonna get a coat of slick sand on it. I'll probably, again, avoid putting any slick sand down on the bottom down there for stone chips and stuff. We'll watch out for that. This already has a bunch of filler in it before. I did a 1/4 panel patch back here, so somewhere around here is where I cut it. So there is filler down in this thing already, so I don't want to put much more on it. That back corner is where most of the filler is, so it's not too bad. This area doesn't have a lot in it. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and get to work on that, and I'll insert a picture here that you can look at before we took the hood off, or I was able to stand back and see the car from the other side of the car. Almost all black, looking nice, looking like a car. It looks really cool. It's the first time I've seen like one whole side of the car all in one color, and the roof and everything. It looked kind of slick. I liked it, so I had that picture there so you can see it. Anyway, back to work. All right, so most of this came out pretty good. This is all blocked down in 180 right now. This area was still giving me grief over here, so I had to put another coat of filler on it. Hopefully this takes care of it this time. I'm not super optimistic. That looks like that's still going to be low right there, but we'll see. So we'll let that cure up there and continue to work on some of the other spots while that's curing. The halogen lights here really do an amazing job of getting the filler to cure, even though it's not that warm in here. Let me show you what it is now. I closed up the drum room. We're at 57 degrees now. That's warm enough in here. It's not too bad. It's comfortable, and the halogen lights do warm up the room as well, but they make a big difference on the filler. All right, I think we are done with filler. It all feels pretty good. I'm not sure it's perfect, but it should be pretty close. We'll see how it goes with these high spots on the metal. I don't feel them, so I think they're okay. I spent a lot of time working on this body line right here. It's a really tough one because it just kind of fades into oblivion here. I think it kind of has a slight little arc to it, and there's a line that comes in from here. It might be too harsh in here, but I don't know. We're going to give it a go, see what we have. So you see I've got everything masked off here. This is all back masked. I scuffed the epoxy from before, went around every edge and scuffed the edges. And what I'm going to do here is just put epoxy over all the bare metal spots. There's not a ton on this end here, there's just a little bit, and there's a lot over here. I'm going to go ahead and shoot epoxy over all of this so I can get an idea of what it looks like and see how good a job I did on it. So just spot and then that. And then we're going to let that sit overnight, and this weekend sometime I'll go ahead and put the slick sand on it. And same thing here, you can see I back masked this, so I'm not doing anything with that bottom piece. There's going to be a little touch-up work I have to do there, but I'll do that when I finish the whole panel off. So, because I don't want any slick sand down there, like I said. So, all right, get some epoxy on here. All right, so I mixed up more epoxy than I needed, so I went ahead and shot a good part of the panel. Didn't get the whole thing, but most of it ran out back here. So everything has 2 coats on it, except for this stuff, which is just the one. It looks pretty nice. The texture's not great there on that second coat. It was coming out a little thin, I think, but you can see the reflection there. Panel looks pretty straight. Like I said, it's all chunky looking down here, I know, but this is where all that crazy high spots and low spots I was fighting were. If you come down the thing and look at it from here, I think it's pretty good. Wow, that texture's awful. Man, that came out really ugly. I don't know what happened there. First coat didn't look like that. But whatever. That's good. So I like it. I think that's pretty nice. I'm happy with how straight that thing's turned out. There's one little bump right there. I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of weird. I may have to tap that down when the time comes, but it's good. So anyway, we're gonna let this sit for a few days, like I said, or at least overnight, and then if I get a chance this weekend, I'll come out here and put the slick sand on it. If not, I'll do it next week. But we'll let the epoxy sit for a little while to cure up. So that's gonna do it for today. Try and just give you a last little glimpse of all this stuff. We had to work on this edge here. This was all beat up down here. This whole edge had lots of dents and stuff in it. And it looks pretty straight. I like it. All right, anyway, take it easy, everybody.